Let's go through the visualization then. So we have a 2D array called video, and then we have a 2D array called result. This 2D array video has 10,000 rows and it has 4 columns as stated in the question. So the 4 columns are supposed to be title, format, then we have the year, and then we have some sort of a code related to it. So row 1, column 1, 2, 3, 4, we have all these 4 details. So we have these dummy data values here. Then they're saying there is another 2D array called results, which is used to store the results of a search to find the specific video. The search will use title, and if the video is found, okay, so if we are looking for, let's say, Macbeth, and we find Macbeth, so we'll copy all the details of Macbeth into our result array for a specific movie. Let's say next time I'm looking for Dune, since Dune exists multiple times, so I will go to this row, I will copy this and paste it in the row 1 of my result. Then I'll go to the next row, I'll paste this as row 2nd, and then I'll keep on looking for Dune until I have seen all the Dune entries or I have seen all the 10,000 rows. So when we are looking for Dune here, let's say Dune is the target film that we are looking for, what we have to do is we have to search for Dune in all of the column ones for 10,000 rows. So we will be able to see multiple Dune entries. We'll copy all the 4 columns and we'll paste those values in all the 4 columns of result. We'll do the same for the second entry, and then we'll do it again for the third entry. And we keep on doing this until we have seen the whole array of 10,000 values, right? Now the question is saying that we have to create a menu that will allow us to add a new video to the library to search for an existing video by the title or to stop with the validation of input. Okay, and validation means that we have to use some sort of a conditional loop. Okay, when the user enters a new video, the following data is stored in the first available location of the relevant array. Okay, this relevant array that they're referring to is basically the results array. And like I said, that these indices are not going to be the same. So if we find Dune at index 4, we are not going to store it at index 4 of the result array. Instead, it will be picked and it will go on index 1. Then the second entry will go on 2. Then the third entry will go on 3. So they will have separate counters. Okay, this is not like the previous questions that have been asked where one-to-one mapping is done. Now, once this is done, then they're saying output the results from the array called results. Okay, simple enough. And then if the video title is not found, output a suitable message. That will only happen once we have seen all values in the array, which are 10,000. The system returns to the menu after completing the input or the output until the user chooses to stop. Okay, so what we have to do is, let's say we are looking for Dune and we have already outputted that Dune exists 3 times, and we output all these values. Then I'm going to ask the user again, enter another movie, let's say, and if they say yes, then I am going to input maybe another movie and we'll do it again. And then if I say yes, so they will ask me to input another movie, and then maybe I input Batman next time, and then we'll repeat the same process. We'll copy Batman, we'll put it in row 1, and then row 2, row 3, row 4, depending on the number of entries. Or if I input no, then that means I do not want to repeat, and then the program should end. This is basically the whole summary of this question, which is a bit complex. Now we can start doing it step by step. Let's start writing the code for this then. They have mentioned that the video library will be initialized with the null string of all empty. And then the same thing will be done with the results array as well, because these two arrays have been, you do not need to declare the array. Okay, so we do not need to declare the array, but we need to initialize them. Okay, they have been made for us, but we still have to populate them. Let's start. We'll be creating procedures because they have asked us to create a menu. Now in the menu, there is going to be the procedures that we'll have some add video function or procedure. Then the second part is input for an other if required, that will be an add, and then we'll have search, and then we'll have output. or maybe we can combine search and output. It is totally up to you. In fact, we'll combine search and output so we don't have to do much back and forth. Okay, so in the first part, we will do some initialization. Now there are 10,000 rows and 4 columns, just like we saw in this example here. For row 1 to 10,000, or column 1 to 4. Now that means we'll go through all of the values one by one. These values, row 1, 2, 3, column 1, 2, 3, 4, column 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm simply going to go ahead and I'll put row, comma, column, empty string like this. And then we do next column, next row. Very easy. All right. Now we're going to create some sort of a menu where we are going to ask the user to input and add movies into the database. But they're saying that we have to also ask and give the option to the user if they want to continue adding movies or not. So it would be something like this. We'll say add movie, and if they say yes, we'll ask them to enter 4 details. Then we'll ask again, add another movie. Yes, so enter 4 more details. And there would be a main menu like this. So the design would be something like this: add movie and search for a movie like this. So let's comment this out. I'm going to comment this because it's not part of the program, and we'll write our own code. And there should be another one to exit. And this will be inside a while loop until user inputs while the input as 3. We will keep on repeating, or repeat until. So repeat until choice is equal to 3. We'll ask the user to enter choice. Enter 1 to add movie, 2 for search movie. But basically these are videos, not movies. And then the third one is to exit program. Input choice. So user will input 1, 2, or 3. This is just to make our life easy without getting into string operations and uppercase and lowercase. And once they have inputted the value, then we'll repeat every time until the choice is 3, and we check if choice is equal to 1, then we are going to call, we called it add movie like this. Else if choice is equal to 2, then we are going to call search movie. Else, well, nothing. If it's 3, we'll just write that, or maybe else we can output enter between 1 to 3 choices like this, and then we enter. Right, so this creates a nice menu in front of us: 1, 2, 3. All right, now we have to write procedures. By the way, again, like we discussed, you guys can do this question as a one large chunk of program, but that wouldn't be ideal. Now we have to define the procedures, and we'll do at the top. So procedure definitions. First of all, let's create the add movie. So we'll write procedure. You guys remember the syntax for it: procedure, add movie, and then we have to do end procedure. Then we have the procedure search movie, and then we'll do end procedure. If user chooses 1, we are going to call add movie. From line number 40, we'll go to line number 13. We'll run this code. We go to line 17, and from line 17, we'll go back to line 40. This is the basic functionality. Okay, now in the add movie, we're saying that you are going to ask the user to input all of these things. We are going to ask the user to input the title, format, year, and storage code, and then we're going to store them column by column. We can just directly ask the user to input the values, and we'll go again and again. Now there is a little constraint here. The question is saying that we must only allow up to 10,000 videos here. Where it go? 10,000 was written here somewhere. Yes, this 10,000, okay. So they're saying only up to 10,000 videos must be allowed. We have to keep track of that as well. Whenever we're calling add movie, we need to keep a track of a counter. And if the counter becomes more than 10,000, then we should stop. So we'll make a counter. Let's call it maybe movie count, or let's call it just movies, or maybe movie index. That would be better because we'll be using this as an index. Movie index is equal to movie index plus 1. So this will keep on going until user inputs choice size 3 or movie index becomes greater than 10,000. We shouldn't allow more than that. Alright, now while we're inside the procedure, we are going to constantly ask the user to input the values again and again, again and again. So one movie at a time, and there are 4 columns. Now where will we store this movie? So the movie will be stored here in this movie index. Okay, movie index we are going to initialize it to 1. That means my movie index would be literally pointing here. If I add another column, so this is where the movie index is pointing. Okay, this is movie index pointing, and right now there are no such values there. These are all empty. Movie index is pointing to 1, so we go on this movie index as row index, and then we're going to put values on all these 4 columns. I'll say output, enter title, format, year of release, and storage. You can do it in 4 separate lines. I'm just doing it in 1 line so it keeps our life easy. Okay, so we're going to input these directly into our array. So input the values. First value that the user will input will go into our array is called video. So current row number, which is used as this movie index. So movie index, which is also acting as the row number, column 1. And then we're going to do it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So like I said, this movie index is acting as the row number, and that would mean we have written these set of values. Macbeth digital download 2015 DG276, and this is how we are going to directly input a value into the video array. Okay, once this procedure ends, we go back here, we increment the movie index by 1, and we check. Let's say the choice was equal to 1, so we have done this, and we check, is choice equal to 3? No. Is the movie index greater than 10,000 yet? Let's say it's 2 right now, so it's not. Maybe eventually it becomes, we have added 10,000 movies in the array, like this. I'm assuming, let's copy these for now. Something like this. Now they become equal to 10,000, and once it becomes greater than 10,000, then the loop is going to end. No more movie would be allowed. So either user will input 3, or we have already added 10,000 movies into the library. So this is working fine. Now we have to do the second part, which is the search movie part, which means we have to store the outputs in the results array. And like we discussed, the results array will have a separate index. We call this the movie index. I think we should, now we're calling it movies constantly. So this is basically for the video array. And this should be, maybe we can call this, let's call it, this is result index. And this would also be, let's change the color, result index. Result index will act as a pointer to the row of the result array. Again, like I said, they are not mutually dependent on each other. Okay, so movie index moves separately and result index will move separately. So if I'm looking for, again, Dune, the movie index would be at index 4, and the result index would write all of the details of Dune at index 1. That is what we're aiming for. Now, once we are looking for a movie, search movie, Okay, now we are going to ask the user in the search movie to enter an input for the movie name. Let's do that. Output, enter movie name or again video name. By the way, we could have taken that as a parameter as well, but let's not, we don't really need to do that. And they are going to input it into the title. The reason I'm using title is because the question says that the title is the keyword that we're looking for. We have already initialized the results array, and I think we haven't done that. Let's see quickly. Okay, so result was also supposed to be initialized here. So we need to do that as well. In fact, let's make this another procedure. Procedure array arrays initialize like this. Or you can just keep it without a procedure. It's totally up to you. And procedure like this. Okay, and we are going to have another loop here. So we do it together. We also have to initialize the results array. Now results array has 20 records, maximum of 20 records. How do we know this? This was given to us in the question that the results can only store up to 20 search results. So I'll use another nested for loop. So for row, there would be 20 rows now. For columns 1 to 4, then we have results, current row column, and we'll make it empty. And then we do next column, and then we do next row. Now this is working perfectly. And what we can do is we should call the array initializing before we actually start running the menu. So here we'll call array initialize, right? This will initialize both arrays to empty strings. Okay, now we'll go back up and we have to write the search movie procedure. Okay, now in order to search for a movie, we have to ask the user to input the title. They've inputted the title. Now, where is the title stored? Title is always stored in the first column. So I'm going to go through all of the 10,000 values, and then I'm going to check if we have the value. Okay. One thing we have to remember this as well, they have asked us to make it efficient as well. That means you are not going to always look at 10,000 records. How do we make it efficient? The movies are added in one row after another, right? There might come a point where we don't have enough movies. Let's say there are only like 500 movies. So 500 indices would be left empty. So once we have left these are empty. So I'm replacing this by dash. In reality, these are empty strings, which means if you come across any title that is empty, you can safely assume that there wouldn't be any movies after that point, right? Because they are stored in an order, they're not stored in random order. So if after Hail Mary at index 7, if it is empty, then that means all the rows from row 7 to row 10,000 will be empty. So we do not need to search further for the movie that we are looking for. Simple enough. And that is what we're going to do. We asked the user to input a title. Now we have to simply implement a linear search, an efficient linear search till either empty title or seen all 10,000 rows, right? So we'll use another repeat until we find an empty string. Okay, when do we find the empty title? That would be in the current row, column number 1, because this is the title. So until video current row column 1 is equal to empty, or you can say the number of rows become greater than 10,000. So row become greater than 10,000. Okay. Until that is the case, we will keep on looking for the value. So we'll say if at any point the title that we have inputted is equal to the value in the current row column 1, then, which means the title is, let's say if we are looking for Dune, this is not equal to Dune. So we'll move to the second row. And if that is not the case, we'll simply move to the second row like this. If you're looking for Dune, not Dune, move to second row, not Dune, third row, not Dune. Okay, yes, we find Dune. Now, what are we supposed to do when we find Dune? When we find Dune, the question says that you are supposed to copy all of the values or 4 values from the video array into the results array. Okay, so it says when searching for the existing video, if the match is found, transfer all the data for that video into the results array and continue to search all the videos until the same title has been found. Right? So you're not going to stop after one title. That is why we have this condition until all the rows have been seen, or we come across any empty string, which means that the uh, names are empty, the titles are empty, so no more entries. Okay, now what will happen if the title matches with the video that we're looking for? What we are supposed to do is we are simply going to copy this current video row comma 1, whatever the title is, and we are going to place it into the results array column 1 like this. But we are not going to use the row index here. Again, like I explained, Dune found at index 4 must be placed at index 1 of the results array. So that is why we need another index for it, like we made here, result index. So I'm going to also set result index to 1 here. By the way, these can be done at the top as well. So let's do them at the top to avoid any confusion like this. So we are setting both of them to 1. I'll get rid of it. And then when we find the video, we'll say so this should be movie and this should be result index like this. So we'll go to the specific row of the results array. At the column 1, we're going to put the value of column 1 from the video array, and we are going to do it 4 times. Copy column 2, copy column 3, copy column 4, copy column 2, 3 and 4 like this. Then we can, okay, this is the whole search function. So what we have done, again, we'll input a movie name. It will check if it matches with the current row column 1, and if yes, it will copy all the contents of this current row into row 1 of my results array. And then once we increment the row of the video, we also need to increment the result index by 1, which would mean that now this movie index from 4, it will move to 5, and similarly the result index will move to 2. Then since this is Dune again, I'm going to copy and paste it at row 2. Then I'll move index to the next one. And then is this equal to Dune? No. So nothing else is going to happen. And then we move to index 7. Since this is empty, the whole loop will end and we would have stored 2 entries of Dune in the array. All right. Now searching is done as well. Now they're saying at the end, output the results from the array results. If the title is not found, output a suitable message. Okay, how do we know that the search did not complete? Is when the row would become greater than 10,000. So if it becomes greater than 10,000, that means we have seen the whole array. So we'll just do that. If row becomes greater than 10,000 at any point, then we're going to output that let's say the title is not in library like this, and then we end if. Otherwise, if we do end up finding all these copies, they're saying you have to output. So once you have seen the whole array of videos and you've copied all the results into the results array, then you're supposed to output these one by one as well. So what we can do here is every time we copy the array values, we can just print them here as well. There's no issue. We can say title and we can output results result index column 1, and we'll do the same thing for 4 times like this. So the values were result, title, format, year, storage code, and we are going to update these column numbers, right? So again, when you find the title, let's check. We find Dune, we save Dune in results, Dune goes in row 1, and then at the same time we're outputting all the details of Dune. So this would be going on the screen. And then if we do not find it, we simply go to the next index. By the way, this shouldn't be incremented outside. This should only be incremented if we end up finding a match, like this. If we find Dune, only then we are going to add 1 to it. If we don't find Dune, it should remain at 2. We are not going to increment it otherwise until there is a match. But we'll keep on incrementing the rows from the video array one by one until we find an empty string or row becomes greater than 10,000. If it becomes greater than 10,000, then it is not in the array. And lastly, they're saying the system returns to the menu after completing the input or the output until the user chooses to stop. And that we have already implemented in this procedure. So now let's just wrap this up and quickly check how it is going to work. Our program will start from here. It will read these two variables. Again, you can just either put them at the top or after the procedure definitions. Our procedure definitions end here, so maybe we can set it to here. And let's call this the main program. This is the one from where our code will start. Procedures or functions will not work until they are called. Moving index is set to 1, result is set to 1. We call the array initializing. Okay, and array initializing works. It will make the whole video array empty and it will make the whole result array empty. All right, then we go back to line 72 and we're going to start. Enter 1, 2 or 3. I input 1. It will call add movie and at the same time it will add 1 to the movie index. So movie index is currently set to 1. I go to add movie, which is up here. I'm going to store the value at the current indices, the current row number, which is 1. So I will get this one entry, and from this line 9 I will go back to from this line where I was called, and then move index plus 1 becomes move index becomes 2, which means that this move index is now pointing to this array, which would obviously be empty right now. All of these would be empty. Then we add a movie again and the same thing happens, and then the movie index gets incremented by 1. And we can keep on doing this. Every time we call this, we ask the user to input 1, 2, 3. If they input 1, we do this and we keep on checking until movie index becomes greater than 10,000. Okay, after we've added like let's say 50 movies, now we're going to search. So I'm going to input 2. If choice is 2, I'm going to call search movie. I'll go all the way up. Okay, I'll input a title. In our case, let's bring back the values. Let's say it was Dune that we were looking for. So it checks is it matching with the current row. Row is set to 1. We should be doing that here instead. In fact, row should be set to 1 here. Then we check row 1 column 1. Is this Dune? No. Next. Okay, we do end up finding it. Since it matches, I'm going to pick the values and I'm going to copy all of them column by column into the results array. Now there's a lot of repetition here. What you can do is you can assign them a variable, so you don't have to repeat this over and over again. So you can just create 4 variables and you can use them instead. And once this is done, we have title, format, year, storage, code ready in the results array, and then we move to the next index of the results array, which would be initially at index 1, so it will go to index 2 because this is where the next entry of Dune will go. And then we check, is it empty yet, the video array? No, video array is not empty yet. There's another Dune after it. Okay, or if we check, is row greater than 10,000 yet? No, row is currently at 5. The movie index is currently at 5, let's say. It's not greater than 10,000. If at any point it becomes greater than 10,000, then the title is not in library. We end the procedure and we go back here. And next time maybe user wants to search another film, they keep on doing it 2-3 times, and maybe then the user inputs 3. And then we check, is choice equal to 1? No. Equal to 2? No. Equal to 3? Here it will say, okay, so we have to add else if choice is equal to, as a choice is not equal to 3 then, because if it will also output this for 3 as well. And then we check, is choice equal to 3? Yes. And then the program ends and you can just print some thank you message. Thank you for using video program. That's it. That is the whole program.